That is crushed. Way back and out of here. That fastball is rocketed it deep to right. Way out of here. Heisey's out of room. It's out of here. Phillips around third. Throw to the plate. And he is safe. Now the 1-2 pitch. Got him looking. Chris Perez with his 22nd save of the year. It's going to be a hot night in the city as the Indians and the Reds continue their three-game interleague series. Tribe winning last night to take game one of this three-game set against Cincinnati. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. So far this year, it has seemed in many games, if the Indians 1 through 4 hitters don't get it done, they don't give themselves many opportunities to score. But last night, they flipped that on its head because the bottom part of the order carried them to victory.
Well, there are certain times you have to go out and really throw up some offense. They certainly did last night. They got some big 2-out run production last night from 5 through 9 in the lineup. Chisenhall hits a home run. Kochman comes out, hits a home run. Both those coming with 2 outs. And when you look at the numbers at the bottom of the lineup put on, desperately needed, by the way, 10 for 19, 6 extra base hits, a couple of home runs, 8 runs batted in. That'll do it every time. And they ended up winning the ball game 10-9, and they certainly needed every run they got.
One of the guys in that 5 through 9 last night was Carlos Santana, who batted 6th, but he's back into the cleanup spot for tonight's ball game. Let's take a look right now at our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup. Josh Tomlin, Mike Leake, a rematch, and last week it did not go well for Josh in Cincinnati.
No, the ball was flying out. They gave him a 2-0 lead in the first inning. He gave up a 3-run home run to Votto and then came back and gave up the solo shot to Phillips. So he was roughed up. That was his first interleague loss in his career. He is now 4-1, but he'll be matched up against Mike Leake, who didn't get the win. Dusty Baker took him out in the 5th inning. He had a chance, but he didn't go long enough. So it'll be a rematch tonight. We'll see if these guys can keep the ball down and keep it in the ballpark this evening.
Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. Indians winning last night to take the first game. Now they've got to win tonight and tomorrow to try and split the 6 games this year against Cincinnati. We're back with all the play-by-play action coming up next. Cincinnati Reds. Josh Tomlin will lead the Tribe on the way out of the field for tonight's ball game. They'll send the Indians to their 34th win of the season. With that game back of the White Sox in the American League Central Division. Cincinnati, meanwhile, just 3.5 games in front of Pittsburgh in the National League Central Division as the Reds have their 6-game win streak snapped last night
bringing him out of the dugout. Tribe wearing the blue tops tonight. Look at the high socks tonight.
Different look for JT.
Trying to shake it up a little bit. Let's take a look at Dusty Baker's starting 9 for the Reds, brought to you by Kia. That goes our Joey Votto back Phillips in the cleanup spot. James Bruce will hit it. Ryan Dunwood will lead at 6. Scott Nolan in 3rd and 7. Todd Frazier starting left field is back 8. As the Rockets behind the plate.
Josh Tomlin on the mound for the Indians with a reminder to go to Indians.com and cast your ballot for this year's All-Star game in Kansas City. Making his 10th start, 3-4 record, and a .556 earned run average. 13 walks, 36 strikeouts. Now, gave up a 3-run homer to Votto back in the first inning after a 2-0 lead in Cincinnati in his last start. That was his first interleague loss. So he's going to have a chance to come back. Pitched very well against the Cardinals 2 starts ago. See if he can come back against Cincinnati and make an adjustment to the way they're going to swing. Let's check out the Indians defense. Duncan gets the start at left on Graham at center. Hanahan in third for Fairley. Short, Gibson in second. Cosplay close.
Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, holding balls and strikes them. Ron Coughlin at first, BJ Rayburn at second, Jim Wolfman third. So we're ready to go tonight. Zach Kozar will lead off for the Reds. And Josh Tomlin trying to buck a disturbing trend for him this year. First pitch is for a strike. His first ERA is 11 this year. Yeah. How about this? Last year, Josh gave up 14 hits in the first inning all season long, covering 26 starts. He's given up 17 first inning hits already this year.
He had a 138 last year, so a big difference this year.
So Rick, that's telling you a couple of things. One, maybe he's not as sharp coming out of the game. Two, the opposition here is more aggressive. There's a drive deep left, well over Duncan's head, short to the wall, and the second base. There's Kozar sliding, just did beat the tag. Kipnis almost nailed him. Kozar in with a double. Good throw by Shelley Duncan. Did it well out there. You're right.
That is good. Luke has made the adjustment to Josh. Now there's a fastball middle plate. That was his problem in Cincinnati. Everything was getting upstairs. Duncan played that beautiful off the wall, bare hands. If that would have been a foot over to the left a little bit more, he might have had it. But that's a nice play anyway. Back to the infield. So Kozar starts it off with a 1-10 double here.
And Chris Heisey now steps in.
That's the one thing I think I have noticed so far this year is that teams have been much more aggressive off time. Well, that first time through, like last year, he used to breeze through innings and have a 1-2-3 inning, and that's why he would go 5 innings. You'd look up, he'd be at 60 pitches, 70 pitches, and he's in 5 innings. Well, his last start was the third time in his career he didn't go 5 innings, and that covers 47 starts. So people are making adjustments on him.
Heisey was 0 for 5 last night, down on the count 0-2. Bounced it, and Santana couldn't block it. It got a piece of him. Karams all the way over to the Tribe dugout. And over to third goes Kozar.
Well, you can see trying to throw that good breaking ball down, and it was way out in front of the plate. That's the curve ball, and I mean hit way out in front of home plate. About a 55-footer. And not much Santana could do there, so Kozar moves up to third. Now a ground ball will get him in.
And the 1-2. Hit off the end of the bat up the first base line.
Let it go.
Goes foul.
Attaboy. He was going to go make the play on him if he could get to it and tag him. But that ball had a lot of spin to it off the end of the bat, so wisely let it roll foul. Kozart was coming in from third. He wouldn't have had a chance at him.
If he could have got to that ball and tagged him, I think he would have tried to make the play. But now he lets it go foul in a wise decision.
So back to home plate comes Chris Heisey, down on the count 1-2. Fastball ran inside, straightened him up with it, 2-2.
I think that's what he's going to have to do a little bit today is,
move the feet.
Move the feet. A lot of hitters on both teams last night felt very comfortable in the batter's box. Pitchers talking about, hey, I'm tipping my pitches, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. The hitters, they had some good swings last night.
Right back to the mound. Tomlin lets it go. Cabrera flags it down, throws. Not in time. Heisey with an infield RBI single.
Well, Cabrera couldn't get anything on the throw.
I have to take another look at it. Initially, I thought Tomlin had a chance to make a play on it. Maybe he did not.
No, from behind, and I think that was our center field camera, it looked like it originally. But then Cabrera had it, and as he's running away from the play, he got on as much as he could, and you can see that Heisey beat it out. So that's an infield single, and now he's got to face Joey Votto.
And Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead. And again, the first inning, a problem for Josh Tomlin. 2 batters in, and Cincinnati has a run on the board. And a strike to Votto. Stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers.
Well, Joey Votto, he does this against everybody. I mean, career just a 293 hitter. That's a slump for him. I mean, seriously.
He's hitting 500 against him this year, but he's hitting 500 in his last 21 games.
This guy is truly, he's fun to watch. And you know what? He does some things in that batter's box that you would never, you don't see most hitters or any hitters do nowadays. And he did it back in Cincinnati against Tomlin. In one at-bat, he moved when Tomlin was set. He moved in the box. This was last Thursday in Cincinnati. Watch his front foot come up. Boom. The back one comes up. See him move? When Tomlin was set out of the stretch, he got a base hit the other way. And I think he was doing that because he was looking for a breaking ball. He ended up getting a fastball and still got a base hit.
Pops this one up. Cabrera out to grab it. 1 down. So Tomlin retires the dangerous Joey Votto, and now he'll face Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, it was those 2 guys, Votto and Phillips, that really did a lot of the damage to Josh Tomlin Thursday.
With a man on first and 1 out, Phillips steps in. Tomlin, not known as a ground ball pitcher, but Brandon Phillips, tied for the National League lead. He has hit into 10 double plays.
Well, he hits a lot of balls up the middle of the field, and that's where your second baseman and shortstop are playing with a guy on first base. Sitting up there looking for the double play. Because last night, if you remember, his first 2 at-bats, both hits were right up the middle past Derek Lowe. So he tries to stay up in the middle part of the field, and his normal numbers against the Indians, he sees a Chief Wahoo and he goes off.
Early in his career with the Indians, he was a dead pull hitter and just tried to yank everything. But when he went to Cincinnati, maybe it was the fact that, he had been traded for the second time in his young career, but he matured a little bit, as a player and started to, hey, I got to use the middle of the field, and he's become an all-star.
Well, you swing and miss a lot when you try and pull everything because these pitchers make adjustments. If you want to hit for average and you want to be productive hitter at the major league level, you have to go the other way. And you learn, and it takes a while to learn. It's not an easy thing for young players. And he was very young when the Indians had him.
Hit to third. Hanahan to second for 1. Kipnis on the turn. Double play. Phillips grounds into his now National League leading 11th double play, and the inning is over. But Cincinnati grabs an early 1-0 lead. 0-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. And the Indians starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Shin-Soo Choo as Drupal Cabrera and Jason Kipnis at the top. Then Carlos Santana followed by Michael Brantley. Casey Kochman hitting 6th, Jack Hanahan 7th, Shelley Duncan 8th, and Lonnie Chisenhall DHing, batting 9th.
Mike Leake on the mound for Cincinnati. He matched up with Tomlin on Thursday. He was supposed to pitch last Wednesday. Had the flu. They moved him back to Thursday. Latos went to Wednesday and pitched well. He's 2-5 and a 5 ERA. He was yanked in that ball game in the 5th inning when they had a 6-3 lead, and Dusty wouldn't let him finish that ball game, or at least that inning. And he went to the bullpen, so he did not qualify for the win.
Shin-Soo Choo to start it off. It eats up, rolling at third, and Choo is aboard to start the game. He turns. He's going to dig and try for
Beautiful.
2.
Good
Here's
hustle.
the throw. Not in time.
Great hustle.
So Choo hustles into second base, and the Indians have their leadoff man in scoring position.
I mean, absolutely great hustle.
Ruled a double for Choo.
Yes, indeed.
It was hard to tell if Roland just didn't get a read on the bounce.
A lot of times when a left-hander hits that ball to the third baseman, you see where it was at, it has spin to it. And it gets on you a little quicker than you think. And he just tried to go to the backhand side. That ball was hit harder than he thought, and it had spin on it. But he a great job of hustling out of the box to get to second base because he deadened the ball enough to allow Choo to get there. 20th double for Choo this year.
Now tied with Michael Brantley, his teammate, for 6th most in the American League. As Drupal Cabrera sends one back out of play.
Well, this is how the ball game went last night. Cincinnati would score, back come the Indians. Cincinnati would score, back come the Indians. It was a fun game to watch. And it's been a while since we've seen that offense of Cleveland get after it. Well, they're back at it again tonight, early.
Indians scoring 10 runs last night, and Cabrera and Kipnis weren't really a part of it at all offensively. As Drupal was 0 for 3, Kipnis 0 for 4. Normally, those guys are in the middle of everything offensively for the Tribe.
8 extra base hits for him. 4 doubles, a triple, and 3 homers.
Strike on the inside corner. And Cabrera down on the count 1-2. Last night in the first 6 innings of the game, the Reds had 3 different leads. The Indians had 3 different leads. It was a wild one offensively. Cabrera shoots it fouled on the right side. Hit it hard, but out in front. And the count stays at 1-2. As Drupal has batted .333 this year with runners in scoring position, so he's done a good job driving them in.
Well, that's right in his wheelhouse. He loves the ball down there around the knees. That was a curveball. He didn't quite get it in enough, but he still hit it foul. It was slow enough to have him out in front.
Spinning a throw and a close play, but Choo able to get back with a dive at second base. Cozart snuck in behind him.
Good timing play. A little daylight play where, as a pitcher, you turn, you see that guy, a little daylight, and the throw was right on the money. Keeps him honest. Some pitchers don't like to make that play. You know, they're afraid to throw the ball. They may throw it in the center field. That was a good one.
Just missed inside. And it's 2-2.
Well, you're going to see more pitches inside by both these guys. They're not overpowering. He's trying that comeback fastball, and that was in off the plate.
Last night after the ballgame, Reds starter Matt Latos complained that he thought the Indians were stealing signs when they had a runner at second base. When you're leading the National League and allowing home runs, I guess you'll look anywhere for excuses.
Well, you know, a lot of pitchers say that. They get, oh boy, got him to swing at a ball.
One down here in the first as Cabrera chased one.
He didn't give in. 3-2, went with the hook. And that's one he took earlier in the at-bat, but he couldn't take it there on the 3-2 count. So Leake will get his first strikeout and his 50th this year.
Now Jason Kipnis. Pops the first pitch up into left field. And backpedaling to make the catch, Todd Frazier. Now Frazier is a newbie out there in left field. He's a third baseman by trade. But with Scott Rowland coming back off the disabled list, Dusty Baker wants to keep Frazier's bat in the lineup, so he's got him out there in left field.
Well, let's check out the Reds' Home Depot defense tonight. Frazier is in left, Heisey in center, Bruce in right. Rowland and Cozart on the left side. Phillips and Votto are on the right. Mesoraco behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Carlos Santana coming up here. Santana 2 for 4 last night, batting in the 6th spot in the order. Right back into the 4-hole tonight. 2 down, tying run in scoring position. And he waves at an off-speed pitch. And that's 1-1. Chew the tying run at second base. Indians have scored in the first inning 6 in their last 10 games. Missed inside, 2-1. They had 1 on the first last night and 1 in each of the previous 2 games in the first inning against Pittsburgh. Santana ahead in the count here, 2-1. Takes an off-speed pitch to even the count. Red starter Mike Leake last week in Cincinnati got bumped back a day to make his scheduled start. He was feeling the effects of a virus that swept through the Cincinnati clubhouse. And he strikes out Santana to end the inning. So the Tribe gets a leadoff double, but Chew never moves from second base. 1-0 Cincinnati after an inning. Brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice.
by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Josh Tomlin starts inning number 2 with the first pitch strike to Jay Bruce. Bruce was 3 for 4 with a home run last night for Cincinnati. His 16 home runs, 4th best in the National League, and he's 5th in runs batted in. League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. Carlos Beltran leading the way, and we saw him in St. Louis having a fine year with the Cardinals.
Hit 2 homers off us when we were there. This guy's got great power. Had one last night. Joe Smith tried to sneak a heater by him inside, didn't get it quite in there enough, and he shot him to right.
Speaking of Carlos Beltran and St. Louis, the Cardinals are in Detroit. Tigers have the early 1-0 lead in that game, 2nd inning. Pitch just misses there. It's 2-2.
Both these pitchers I see conscious of going inside, and at least if they're going to miss, you miss in off the plate to let these hitters know. And it's I like it. They have to do it because they have very effective off-speed pitches that they have to be successful with. Both of them pitching with the high socks tonight. Tomlin normally not a guy like that. The difference between the two is when we watch Leak go back out, he's got the old sanitary socks on like they used to wear back in the 60s and 70s. Tomlin's got just this straight blue.
Might have broke his bat there. Kipnis comes in, charges, and throws him out. 1 away. Well, Josh Tomlin trying to get things turned around this year for himself. With more on that, here's Katie Witham.
Yeah, Matt, when I spoke with Tomlin, he told me the one thing from his last start against Cincinnati that he had to do early today was establish that cutter command. For him, that's really where everything starts. And if he's able to do that, along with control both sides of the plate, then all of his other pitches will fall into place.
Thanks, Katie. That cut fastball that he throws has the kind of movement that can carry Josh Tomlin through a game.
Well, it's also a pitch, though, as a field pitch. And if you don't command it, they can be hit a long way.
That is deep to left center. Brantley leaps at the wall and makes a terrific catch. 2 down. Michael Brantley putting on a show this year in center field. He has made some sensational catches, and you can put that one on the highlight reel as well.
Well, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He timed it beautifully. That ball was hit high enough that he has time to get back there. He took a look where the wall is. He jumps. He timed it, and he timed it perfectly. Nice catch. And he's starting to feel very comfortable out there. There's no question about it.
Scott Rowland takes a strike, 2 for 4. He had a couple of opposite field RBI singles early in last night's game. Rowland said on coming back from the shoulder injury that put him on the DL for more than a month, hey, I don't really think about going out and re-injuring myself. I'm thinking about, I want to be part of this. The Cincinnati offense has been rolling lately, and he said, I think I can help. I want to go out and just contribute best I can.
Well, and that's his way. I mean, that has been his problem in his career. He's got great numbers all the way through his career. It's been the injuries. It's been the shoulder issues, and he's had quite a few injuries in his career.
Well, that sort of was the end of his relationship with Tony La Russa in St. Louis.
Right.
La Russa wasn't sure if he was healthy. He didn't play him. And the next thing you know, Scott Rowland was upset, and next thing you know, he was no longer a Cardinal.
Well, and then he played in Toronto, and Walt Jocketty, who was over with the Cardinals over there, realized what this guy meant not only to the team, to the clubhouse, but what he could bring. He acquired him from Toronto, and he's been in Cincinnati and very happy. And when he gets back and when he's healthy, he will be plugged into that number 4 hole, and he's a good clutch hitter. Tough out.
2-2 weekly tap towards second base. Kipnis, who was shading him up the middle, able to get over, make the play, and the Reds go 1-2-3. 1-0 Cincinnati, middle of the second.
Field, 1-0 Cincinnati. Bottom of the second inning. Michael Brantley will lead off for the Tribe, then Casey Kochman and Jack Hanahan. Here's Michael Brantley now. Last night, 2 for 3, 2 doubles in the game, giving him 20 on the year. Chu doubled to start the game for the Tribe. He also has 20. They're tied for 6th in the AL. And that's low. 2-0 to Brantley. Ripped foul. It's amazing how many times a guy makes a sensational play defensively and he's leading off the next inning.
That is funny. It works out that way quite often.
Tap to second base. And Brandon Phillips can take his time, throws him out 1 away here in inning number 2. Tonight's trivia question brought to you by AT&T. Joe DiMaggio struck out 3 times in a game, once in his career.
Holy smokes.
Name the Indians pitcher who sent him walking back to the dugout, bat in hand, 3 times in the same game.
Wow, once in your career, that is. Well, didn't we come up and he only struck out 14 times in a year
1
or
year,
something?
yeah. It's ridiculous.
I mean, 3 times in 1 game just in his whole career, that's impressive. But that's a great question.
There's an obvious, guy you would guess. But
Well,
I'm going to go off the board.
What? He hit a few homers off Feller.
What do you think about this guy?
Could be. I like that guess.
I'm going to go with it.
Okay, we'll go with it. We're probably wrong, but we're going to go with it.
Exactly right.
Probably
some guy
somebody
we've
we
never
never
heard of.
Redbird's got a way of doing that to you. Throwing out the obvious and bringing out something that you'll never know.
The 2-0 to Kochman. The other way, this time rolling backhand pick, throw, pulled him off the bag and into the photo well it goes. So Roland this time did a great job to field the ball, but trying to hurry the throw and made a poor attempt across the diamond.
Well, actually, it was a good attempt. I don't know if the sun got in Votto's eyes when he comes off the bag here, because that's a beautiful throw, and he just gets it up. Watch, it's high enough. Votto comes off, and he should have made the play. Come off to tag him.
He was up the line. I think he was afraid of running into Kochman.
Very well could be.
And I would have, too.
Might have been afraid of the runner, and he's looking into that sun as well.
Yeah, that's a killer play for a first baseman at this time of day.
Especially when it's high like that. I mean, it'll probably go as a hit and an error.
Yep.
But I bet Joey probably felt he should have made that play.
Jack Hanahan now. Looks at the ball inside. Jack just trying to get it going again after coming off the disabled list. He had been one of the Tribe's top clutch hitters, .344 average with runners in scoring position. But trying to kick some of the rust off after being on the DL.
Anytime you miss a length or period of time, it's tough to come right back and get back in the saddle again. It takes a while just to get a feel of game speed. You may feel good and you may do it, but not facing that live pitching for 2-3 weeks. And I mean, he went on the DL, but it was 10 days, 11 days before he even went on the DL.
Yeah.
So it was that much longer.
One and two the count. Last year, Hanahan ate up left-handers, had trouble with righties. This year, he's hitting almost 100 points higher against right-handed pitching, which is normally what you expect from a left-handed hitter.
He is making a conscious effort of staying inside.
especially this first time through the lineup. It's a good pitch. You know, it wasn't called last night, a lot of those pitches on the inside part of the plate. To me, that's one of the toughest calls to get from an umpire is that inside corner on the plate. If you get that pitch, boy, that's going to make your game a lot easier because hitters have to be looking in there.
So far tonight, it looks like they're close, but they're missing. Last night, it looked like those pitches, a number of different ones, had plate, and Jim Wolf still didn't give him the call. 2-2. And that's low, a full count. Shelley Duncan waiting on deck. Leak with the payoff pitch. And Hanahan with a little squibber back up the middle. Cozart, the shortstop, throws him out. 2 down. Shelley Duncan batting .200 on the year. Will bat with a runner at third and 2 down. Shelley 0 for his last 7 at the plate. Kochman, the tying run 90 feet away. Duncan takes another strike. He's down on the count, 1-2.
Well, he must be sitting breaking ball because it looks like he took a couple of fastballs for strikes there.
And he strikes him out with the off-speed pitch. Third strikeout for Leak, and the Indians strand another runner in scoring position. 1-0 Cincinnati through 2. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. One nothing Cincinnati. Third inning, Todd Frazier will lead off for the Reds. The number 8 hitter, then Devin Mesoraco and Zach Cozart. Frazier pops it up. Foul ground. Hanahan's going to give it a look. And it's just beyond his reach.
This guy here, and the only time we have had a chance to watch him play, Todd Frazier, is in Cincinnati. He looks like he's an aggressive, dead red hitter. Likes the fastball and will get after it early. I think once he gets around, and he has had some big hits for Cincinnati, they're going to find out how to pitch to this guy. And I think sometimes the slower like that, the better.
No balls, 2 strikes. Tried to run the heater upstairs, but he wouldn't chase after it.
Change the eye level. You show him that pitch up and out of the zone and come back with another curveball.
Swung on and missed. He got him to chase that breaking ball for his first strikeout, and 1 down. Let's check in. Here's Katie with them.
Thanks, Matt. We'll bring your whole family out here to the ballpark with the KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. It's a great deal. You can get 4 tickets, food, 4 Indians caps, and parking, all for one great low price. If you need additional tickets, you can always add them on. Check it all out online right now at Indians.com. Guys.
Thanks, Katie. Here's Devin Mesoraco. And the Reds catcher looks at strike 1. Cuts and misses quickly. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's first 2 cutters right there. I'll tell you, he is he's getting a feel for it right now.
Almost chased after the curveball. Fastball upstairs. 2-2 the count. Strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Tomlin. 2 down in the 3rd. Our injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Ryan Dempster on the DL for the Chicago Cubs with right lat tightness. He has a 2.11 ERA this year and a dozen starts.
Well, you know, that could have been a very big trade chip for the Cubbies, huh?
Speaking of the DL, there's Grady Sizemore.
There's the G-man.
Two-0 pitch fouled back. Cozart doubled and scored in the 1st. Popped him up. And the shortstop Cabrera backpedaling.
Good inning.
And Tomlin with a 1-2-3 third. He has retired 8 straight. It remains 1-0 in favor of Cincinnati. Bottom of the third. Lonnie Chisenhall, Shin-Soo Choo, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Well, Choo was the man in the first. He led off with a double, but the Indians could not advance him. And Casey Kochman singled, went to second on an error with one out in the second inning. But again, he wound up being stranded. Lonnie Chisenhall leading off the bottom of the third with a loud strike. He made a lot of noise last night. Chisenhall went 3 for 4, a double shy of the cycle. He tripled and homered. Hits this one to right field over near the line. Jay Bruce on the run. He's there and makes the catch, one away. Our great clip of the game. Let's talk about Lonnie Chisenhall swinging a hot stick last night.
Yeah, just a double away from the cycle.
That was the one you liked, Bill.
Oh, man, that was a great job. Man on third base and a curveball out of the strike zone, stayed on it. Yeah, I like that one a lot. And, you know, he's starting to swing the bat much better. I'm sure that's why he's in there DH, and you get 3 knocks, and you get a chance to come right back and get some more ABs.
Shin-Soo Choo with a double in the first. He's 20th on the year. The 2-0. And he missed again. Taking all the way, and Leake pours one in there for a strike.
Well, Choo homered off Leake leading off the game on Thursday, and in the 5th inning hit 2 homers off him. So he's going to make the adjustment to Choo. He's not going to give him any swinging room because both the pitches that he hit out of the ballpark, if you remember, were out over the plate, and Choo was able to get extension on him. So he's pounding him and crowding him, and he doesn't want him to extend the arms here.
Payoff pitch up and away. And Leake looked at his hand and then tells the catcher, give me a new baseball. He didn't like the way that one felt coming out of his hand. 1-out walk will bring up Asdrubal Cabrera.
Well, Sandy Alomar Jr. bobblehead giveaway will take place on July 4th this year. It's going to be an afternoon game against the Angels. The first 15,000 fans will take home a bobblehead of the former catcher. That's a nice little trophy right there, isn't it? So buy early and save. Log on to Indians.com. I want one of those.
Cabrera struck out his first time up. Looks at a strike. Yeah, that's a good looking bobblehead. Something unique, a little different. Yeah. Just as the Cabrera bobblehead was
that
unique.
The 97 year was Sandy's year. That was the best year of his life as a ball player. We were fortunate enough to be around to cover it.
Fouled off. Had a little bit of everything. I mean, you talk about the 30-game hit streak, the All-Star Game MVP hit the home run. Then you go to the playoffs. He homers off Mariano Rivera just when it looks like all hope is lost.
To right field.
He hits the home run that ties the game, and then we win it on the ricochet off the pitcher in extra innings. It was just a magical season that, unfortunately,
it should have been capped off with
just a little bit short.
With a big trophy, too.
Yeah, you know, you talk about stories. I mean, it had everything. It just missed the ending. Somehow the writer left off the ending.
He left the last page off.
Choo with 9 steals draws a throw from Mike Leake. Down and in. That's the pitch he had Cabrera chasing at his first time up. Struck him out with.
And in that first at-bat, he was able to lay off it earlier in the count. He happened to chase it when it was a full count. Left-handers hitting over 300 against Leake this year, with 8 of his 9 home runs given up to lefties.
That's lined down the right field line. Chew can run all day. Around second, on his way to third. Bruce does a nice job to cut it off. He's got a cannon, and he guns down Cabrera at second with ease. Chew makes it to third, but now there are 2 out. Once Bruce cut it off, Cabrera really should have put the brakes on.
And that's one that you have to read as a base runner. There's nothing that Wiedenbauer could tell as Drubel. Pick it up, the play's in front of him. He's running down the line. Chew, no problem to get to third base. But here's where Cabrera is his own base coach. The minute he cuts it off here, and he didn't have to backhand it, he got himself in good position to throw, and he throws him out easily. So that's the second time in the last couple of days he's been thrown out at second. That's when you have to read.
Jason Kipnis flied to left his first time up, batting with a runner at third and 2 down. He's been a terrific hitter with runners in scoring position, though he did fly out to left his first time up, hitting .379 in these situations. That's 4th best in the American League. Keep shaking him off. Now he's got one he likes. And the 2-0 is outside.
Well, let's take a look at it from Asdrubal's perspective. Going down the line, here you go. Okay, you hit first, now stop and go back. He says, I'm going to be aggressive and make him make a good throw, and he made a good throw. So instead of first and third, it's third base and 2 outs. I mean, there's certain times that you want to go ahead and maybe take a chance. I don't think that was the right time to do it.
Out of play.
You know, you're trying to get back into the game. You've got the middle part of your lineup up. You almost have to be sure you're going to make it there at that point in time of the game. That's what I'm trying to, think about and put it in perspective, thinking-wise.
The 3-2. Ripped foul.
But if you're hopefully your teammate right here can pick you up, get a base hit, drive in Chew, and it won't be as painful. That's what he's hoping for right now. Come on, get a base hit.
Payoff pitch, bounce to first. Routine play for Votto. Flips to Leake to end the inning. 3 complete. It remains 1-0 Cincinnati. Fourth inning, it's a 1-0 lead for Cincinnati. Josh Tomlin pitching a little bit more like the Josh Tomlin we've gotten used to. 9 out of 10 first pitch strikes tonight. One hop bouncer to Kochman, flip to Josh, one away. That's going to bring up Joey Votto, who Tomlin induced into a pop-up on the infield his first time up. Votto leading the National League in batting average, also leading the league in doubles, and currently 6th in runs batted in. He leads in so many categories. I'm not going to go through all of them.
No, you can't. Just say he leads in everything.
There's a drive to center.
He can hit.
Brantley can't cut it off. Votto into second, and he will hold right there with a one-out double.
He is, I mean, so fun to watch hit a baseball. That's double number 30 for him. Yeah. And, I mean, he just has a free and easy swing at the plate. He never gets out of the box. You don't see him getting out of here and strapping his gloves up every pitch. He stays in the batter's box. He gets after it.
And everything is short to the ball. He doesn't have that big, long swing. Well, maybe it's because he's just hyper locked in.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
That's true. But you know what? It's got to be fun to watch this guy every day in and day out. Because, I mean, you don't put up numbers like he does and not be locked in most of the time.
He's hit 500 for almost the entire month.
Yeah.
Well, he has for the entire month. Well, that's insane.
And you know what? That's what I say. You pitch around him. People say, well, then you give him a base runner. Yeah, I know. But sometimes a single or a walk's better than, a double and a homer.
Brandon Phillips hit into a double play his first time up. Swings at the first pitch and comes up empty. Inside off the plate. And the count evens. Couldn't entice him with that curveball, but you can see Tomlin tonight is making a concerted effort to try to pitch in to make the hitters at least a little uncomfortable, try to get them to move their feet a little bit.
Well, he has to use both sides of the plate to be successful. He cannot pitch to one side, and he's normally very good at pitching to 4 quadrants. Not just in, up and in, down and in. Up and away, down and away.
Lined on a couple of hops to Kipnis. He'll throw out Phillips, 2 down. Votto moves over to third. Well, with soaring gas prices in the summertime, here's one way you can help yourself out. All you have to do is log on to stohd.com and enter for a chance to win a $100 gas card, courtesy of your Northeast Ohio Shell retailer and True North convenience stores. We'll have a new winner picked each week now until September 26th. Here's Jay Bruce. Weekly rolls one to first.
Pitch.
Kochman flips to Tomlin. And the one-out double by Votto does no damage. Middle of the fourth, still 1-0 Cincinnati. 1-0 Reds on top, bottom of the fourth. Carlos Santana to lead off for the Indians. Mike Leake has allowed a hit in each of the first 3 innings, but the Tribe unable to push one across. They have left 3 men in scoring position.
Well, they've been working hard with Santana to try and get him straightened out. And I think having him out of that number 4 hole yesterday really, it helps your head a little bit when you're not into that number 4 hole and feel a little added pressure. But he was right back in there again today. And I'm sure that's because Chisenhall gets the chance at DH. And Lopez isn't playing, who was hitting 4th yesterday. Hanahan back in the lineup. Your options are limited if you're Manny Acta to try and fill out that lineup card and find a number 4 hole hitter. And right now, Santana's not it.
Fouled off his foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sometimes the best thing for you when you're going through a tough spot is just to step away and really look at the game, and actually a couple of days off could help. But that's not going to happen. Right now it looks like he's just a little tied up because they're trying to keep his body quiet. And he just looks tied up. He doesn't look fluid and relaxed up there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Out of play.
Send along some birthday wishes tonight. Barb Tisker is 99 years young today. She is at the ball game. She's from Wickliffe, so Barb, happy birthday. Mary Guthrie of Akron is 91. Willie Spikes III of Painesville is 48. And Ron and Donna Shoemaker of Cleveland celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to you both.
Santana hammers it fair down the right field line. This will head into the corner. Bruce will let it go to the wall before he picks it up, and Santana strolls into second base with a leadoff double. Second leadoff double of the night for the Indians.
Well, we'll see if they can move him around and get him in now. Here's a good swing by Santana. That front foot gets down, and you can see those hands reach out. He gives him a little bit of swinging room, and he pulls it down the line. So Santana off and running. This one hit sharply. Votto with no chance. So this one gets to the wall. Santana cruises in easily.
Now Michael Brantley, who bounced to second his first time up. Michael twice last night led off with doubles. And another weak tapper to second. That'll get the runner over to third, so now the tying run 90 feet away with 1 out. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Rick. St. Louis tonight in Detroit, but this one's been all Tigers thus far. In the second inning, they scored 3 runs, highlighted by this Austin Jackson double that knocked in 2. Verlander's on the hill tonight for the Tigers. This might be enough. 4-0 to score. They're in the 4th in Detroit. Matt?
Well, don't look now, but Detroit's starting to heat up. They win tonight. That's 8 of their last 11 in the win column, and they've quietly closed the gap and snuck up on both the Indians and the White Sox as they creep closer to that 500 mark.
You know, it's a funny thing, and I think we do this a lot. We talk about some teams make charges in interleague play. You know, They have a good interleague play. It brings you right to the forefront, sometimes in your division. Because remember, we had those 15 games or so in our division before we got to interleague play. You get a little break, you're finishing interleague play, and then you get back to it. It seems like every year. And I remember, was it 05 when the Indians did it? They went on that West Coast swing, and they were, 15-3 one year?
Yeah, and the Tigers are 8-4 in interleague play.
Yeah.
Best record in the Central Division.
I remember the White Sox a couple of years in a row. They played really well in interleague play and brought themselves up to the top of the pack. So every year it happens.
Infield in with 1 out. 2-1 pitch to Kochman. Takes a strike, and it's 2-2. Baseball is such a crazy game. Last night, the hits were raining down out of the sky, left and right, extra base hits, bombs, big crooked numbers. Tonight, it's been a struggle so far just to get a run home from third now. Kochman, though, floats one into center. Heisey plays it on a bounce, and the Tribe will tie the game as Santana comes home from third. Kochman with his 27th run batted in on the year, and the Indians tie the game at 1.
Well, good job by Casey. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Got something he could just handle, and he tried to jam him. He went upstairs with it. Tried to run one by him up out of the strike zone at 93, and Casey got enough of it to get it in front of Heisey. And we have a new ball game. It's 1-1. You got to give pitchers credit. They've done a nice job tonight moving it around.
Jack Hanahan, a ground out the shortest first time up. A hitter giving credit to pitchers. What's next? Cats living with dogs?
That could happen. Well, after last night's thing, you have to give it. It's still early. But, both these guys, they're control pitchers. They had the slugfest last Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
So they both wanted to come back and redeem themselves. And to this point, they certainly have.
Hanahan fouling it over toward the Reds' dugout. Leake has had to work with a lot of traffic already tonight. But he's allowed just the 1 run so far. And the 1-1 pitch smashed into right field, a base hit. Kochman will hold at second. Bruce got to it quickly. And so now back-to-back hits, and 3 of the first 4 all reaching via the hit here in inning number 4 for the Indians.
And you're getting back to the bottom part of that lineup that did the damage yesterday. Hanahan finds the hole between first and second. So Kochman moves up a base, and that gives Duncan an opportunity now with 1 out. 3 hits in the inning, 6 on the game.
Now, ordinarily, with a right-handed starter, Shelley Duncan probably would not have gotten the start, but last night Johnny Damon smashed into the stands down the left field line pretty hard, and when he reported to the park here today, his entire right side was just very sore after that collision.
I thought he was going to come out of the game last night, to be honest with you.
It looked like he was
hurt
going
himself. Was something, the back, an arm, a shoulder. He had 2 hits. He would have been back in there if he was feeling healthy. I know that.
Duncan looks at a ball outside. This was the play we're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, down that line, he should have just maybe let it come off the wall and play it, but he tried to go cut it off. Phillips ended up scoring all the way around.
Now with 2 on and 1 out, the 1-0 to Duncan. Low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, that first at-bat, Shelley took a couple of heaters and he swung at his breaking ball, but now he's going to have the count in his favor. We'll see if he maybe sits on an off-speed pitch instead of looking for the fastball here.
Leake, 70 pitches now on the night. 40 have been strikes. His 20th pitch of this inning is in there for a strike with a fastball. The Indians have landed some punches here in the 4th inning. They've tied the game. Now looking for a haymaker. He tried to hold up, but he went around. 2-2 the count. Reds play Duncan to pull on the infield and in the outfield. Hits that one way foul.
Yeah, you got to reset your sights when you're sitting on that fastball. Then he shouldn't even be swinging at the breaking ball.
You know what's interesting? A lot of times you'll see the outfield, even with a pull hitter, the left fielder and the center field will pull over, but the right fielder will play him more straight up. Jay Bruce, the right fielder, he's close to 90 feet off the line in right field.
He's more than that.
He might be more than 100, huh?
Yeah, that's about right, because he's playing him like a right-handed pull hitter.
The 2-2 floated towards center. Heisey got a good break on this one, makes the catch. Couldn't get it out of his glove. He wanted to try to fire it back and double up Kochman, but that is out number 2.
Well, here's where Duncan tried to use a little more of the field, stay in the big part of it. And Heisey coming up, as you said, got a good jump on it. That's 2 outs now.
And Lonnie Chisenhall now the batter. He flied to right his first time up. Chisenhall had the 2-out homer in the game last night. With 2 aboard, 2 down here in the 4th in a tie game. He swings and misses. This is already the Indians' 10th at-bat of the game with a runner in scoring position. I mentioned earlier he's had a lot of traffic, but the Tribe just hasn't been able to bust through against him. 1 for 9 so far with a runner in scoring position tonight, and it's up high 1-1. Manny Acta was asked about that too, Rick, about hitting with runners in scoring position, and he said it's cyclical during the season. You're not going to hit 400 all season long with runners in scoring position. You'll get hot at times. You'll score a bunch of runs. But then there will be times where you just don't get those hits.
Well, most of the time you're not going to get hits. When you figure you're hitting, what, if you can hit 270 as a team with runners in scoring position, it's pretty darn good. Most of the times you're not going to get them. But timely hits, they've done a pretty good job this year with 2 outs.
This has been their calling card right here, these situations. The 2-out.
It's a tough one to hang your hat on and live on.
Well, that's
because you'll die on it. I'll tell you what, it's the toughest hit to get.
More times than not. 1-2 pitch. Ran it in, almost hit him. And it's 2-2. Do you think Leake and Tomlin both just watched last night, and that's why they're making a concerted effort to work inside, or you just think that's normal game plan?
No, that's absolutely. They pitched against each other last week, and it's not. This guy realizes he couldn't get through 5 innings and he had 6 runs on the board. He knows he has to go inside to the hitters. When you give them swinging, and Tomlin, because they're not overpowering, that's part of their game plan every game. You know, sometimes you don't execute it, but when you miss your spots, they've got some dangerous hitters, and you can get hurt.
And when they both sat and watched both teams combine for 19 runs and 27 hits last night, they said, we better make sure we're going in off the plate and moving some people around.
To where Latos and in his last start, pitched to Jem. He comes out and gets roughed up because he left balls out over the plate. He felt he was tipping his pitches. Low pitched much better over in Cincinnati than he did last night.
Yeah.
And again, the strike zone was a tough strike zone for pitchers last night.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Ran it up high. Chisenhall floats it to short, and the catch made by Cozart. The Indians tie it up 1-1 as we go to the 5th. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Panini's, with 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress, made right here in Northeast Ohio. And by Kia. We move right along to the 5th inning. Tied at 1. Ryan Ludwig, Scott Rowland, Todd Frazier due up for Cincinnati. Ludwig sent a long drive to deep center his first time up, but Michael Brantley made a terrific catch to rob him of a hit, if not extra bases. Cubs White Sox underway in Chicago, no score, bottom of the 1st. Back in the 2nd inning with 1 out. This was the play.
Beautifully timed. That ball had enough air under it where Michael was able to time it, take a peek at where he was located around the wall, and make a beautiful catch. The topper, though, was in Chicago this year.
Oh, that was amazing catch.
Yeah, the home run takes a 3-run homer away. That was beautiful.
Hit in the hole between 3rd and short. And Ryan Ludwig with a leadoff single. Just the 2nd time Cincinnati's had their leadoff man aboard here tonight.
Well, Luddy gets a pitch down, finds that hole. 2-1 count, looking for something away, but his first hit after being robbed. 4 hits now for the Reds.
Scott Rowland grounded to second his first time up. To first, Kochman knocks it down. He'll take the out at first. Ludwig in a scoring position with 1 away now.
Interesting. Dusty started the runner and wanted to stay out of that double play.
Well, Jimmy Hanlon and Tee It Up Ohio giving you a chance to play the Firestone South course 1 month before Tiger, Rory, and Phil will tee it up for the Bridgestone Invitational. 1 day only, July 2nd. And the proceeds will benefit the First Tee program. All you have to do is log on to STOHD.com, but playing spots will be going quickly, so don't delay. Todd Frazier struck out his first time up. takes a look at the ball down low. It was really a clinic in that first time up by Josh Tomlin. Showed him the fastball. He's, as you pointed out, dead red hitter. Attacked him with the breaking ball and was able to strike him out.
He fouled off the first pitch, and then he went to work. Breaking ball for a strike.
Good curveball. Hit between third and short. Hanahan, though, there to gobble it up. Throws out Frazier, 2 down. So that will leave it up to Devin Mesoraco for Cincinnati with 2 outs and the go-ahead run in scoring position. Mesoraco to third. Hanahan picks it nicely. High throw. Kochman makes the tag to end the inning. Wow, that was a near collision at first base. Casey did a nice job to get out of the way. And the inning is over, still tied at 1. One our score as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order for the Tribe, Shin-Soo Choo, as Drupal Cabrera and Jason Kipnis. So far in this series, the Indians' leadoff men have been doing a good job of getting aboard. 7 for 11 plus a walk. They've scored 5 runs. Tonight they've had their leadoff man aboard twice, got him home once. And they've had, as I said, a lot of traffic. They've had base runners against Leake, but he's been able to walk the tightrope so far.
He's bent, but he hasn't. He hasn't broken.
He's got those old-fashioned stirrups, as you pointed out
earlier.
earlier.
The white sanitary socks under those stirrups. That's the old Cincinnati Red legs there. Big red machine. Those white socks underneath those old stirrups. See, they've got that's the way they used to wear them. Now they're all one-colored socks for most, all teams.
A la Will McEnany right there.
I'm surprised they even have sanitaries anymore. I'd have to check with Tony.
I think, Tony, they have to special order them now.
Sure they do.
They just
those
don't
may
have
be
them.
his own little athletic socks there. Those don't look like big league sandies to me.
Underneath, you mean?
Yeah, Cy used to have them all. He'd have big old pile full.
Choo with a soft liner right to the second baseman, Phillips. 1 away. Game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Chris Heisey, an infield RBI single in the first inning for the Reds' only run. And the Tribe tying it with a Casey Kochman RBI single to center, plating Carlos Santana. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. What a difference 24 hours can make. As Drupal Cabrera 0 for 1. Or excuse me, 1 for 2. He had a base hit his last time up.
Yep, thrown out at second, trying to stretch that single into a double.
By this time last night, it was already 7-7. So, still tie game.
Just a little different style. It was actually a fun game to do because we haven't done, as I said, we haven't done a lot of them this year where both teams are out and they're swinging bats and getting hits and balls leaving the ballpark. Pitchers don't like it, but I know the fans love it.
Yeah, I thought it was an entertaining game because it was back and forth. It's not like you're down 7 and then the other team chips away and comes back. That was
entertaining baseball. It was fun to watch. A lot of hitting, a lot of runs scored, and especially when you come out on top.
Fly ball shallow left in is Frazier. He makes the catch. After the game last night, I don't think the Reds felt that the Indians beat them. They just outlasted them. And that was kind of the feel of that game, 10-9. The Indians had one more run. And you know what the other key was? Pistano, Perez, Joe Smith, they did a terrific job of slowing it down, slowing down the Reds' offense late. They gave up 1 run, but 2 runs.
Yeah, the home run, and then Perez gave up a run. Cincinnati actually out-hit them 14-13. But the Indians only left 3 on base.
They cleaned them up.
Yes, they did.
Kipnis 0 for 2.
They already have 5 left on base.
Changeup missed with his location badly, but luckily for him, it was in and off the plate.
Matter of fact, last night, the 19 runs scored was the most here this year in a game, combined by both clubs. But it was the 3rd straight game that the Indians gave up at least 9 runs.
Brandon Phillips throws out Kipnis, an easy 5th for Mike Leake. He breezes right through, and we stay tied at 1.
I'm out in the Subway Extreme Fan Zone with today's lucky $25 Indians Fun Money winner, Mara and Levi, who is making his 2nd Indians game right now. But Mara, how's the view out here?
Oh, it's awesome. We love it. It's really fun.
Definitely a good time out here. You can be a winner too. All you have to do is buy tickets to sit out here in the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. Subway, where winners eat. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Katie. Top of the 6th inning, still knotted up at 1 apiece. Josh Tomlin is pitching a dandy for the Indians. He's thrown 60 pitches on the night, 40 for strikes. And in his last 2 innings, He's needed just a total of 17 pitches. 8 pitches to get through the 4th and 9 to get through the 5th.
Well, both of these pitchers have made a terrific adjustment, and they've both been in control of their ball game, and they both had great control. Neither one of them went 5 innings back in Cincinnati less than a week ago. And both of them now, they're completed 5 and heading into the 6th. As I said last week, he was supposed to start on Wednesday night, but was bumped back to Thursday because of the flu conditions that were going around the Cincinnati clubhouse.
To third, just went foul right at the bag.
That's good because that would have been a base hit. He's walking up the line. It's right there. And then you can see that ball just kick foul at the end.
Watch Darrell Cousins get. Oh, he went over Santana's foot.
Sniper got him in the upper deck.
Maybe Darrell was just going for a closer look. He wanted to look right down the line.
Well, he's got it up into the bag, and what he did, he stepped on the back of Santana's heel. Look at Carlos. Can I clean that for you, sir?
Floater to center. Brantley can't get to it. He had to pull up. And a leadoff single for Cozart in the 6th. All right, here's our AT&T trivia question. Joe DiMaggio struck out 3 times in a game once in his career. It happened on this day in 1942. I'm guessing Bob Lemon.
Let's go. I'll go with you. Mel Harder. Gosh, should have known.
The perfect
Good
gentleman.
job, Mel. The only time.
Chris Heisey, 1 out of 2. He had an RBI single in the 1st. Tomlin's 0-1, up too high with it. Brandon Phillips hit into a double play to end the 1st inning.
Well, in last inning, after Ludwig started it off with a single, on the first pitch, he started Ludwig with Rowland at the plate for the hit and run, maybe to get something happen. We'll see if he tries anything here at the top of the lineup.
10 ground ball outs tonight for Tomlin, including the last 6.
Well, that's a good sign because normally he's a fly ball pitcher.
Time called by Heisey. Wouldn't chase after it. 2-2. White Sox have taken a 1-0 lead over the Cubs. They're in the 2nd inning at U.S. Cellular Field. Tigers beating up St. Louis 5-0 in the 5th behind Justin Verlander, who's twirling a 2-hitter through 5 innings for Detroit. Yankees and Braves tied 3-3. They're in the 4th in New York. Yankees trying to run their winning streak to 11 in a row. The 2-2. Hit on the ground to short. Cabrera to Kipnis. On to first. Double play. Second turn by the Indians here tonight as Tomlin continues to be a ground ball machine.
Well, that's a great sign. It looked like that little cutter that he was able to get Heisey to beat into the ground. Cabrera gives a good feed over to Kipnis. In turn, gets it over to Kochman. And double play completed. Second one tonight for Josh. That's a bonus ball right there. Give me the extra out, especially with this guy coming to the plate.
Now the 1-1. Called a strike. And Tomlin gets ahead of Joey Votto. Comes right back at him. Hit to right field. Chu got a great jump on it. Slides, makes the catch, and hangs on to end the inning. Josh Tomlin continues to shut down the Cincinnati offense. We stay tied at 1. It remains a 1-1 ball game, bottom of the 6th inning. Carlos Santana, who doubled to lead off the 4th and came around to score the Indians' only run, will lead off this 6th inning. Mike Leake, just over 90 pitches on the night. Bullpen for Cincinnati is quiet. What's been fun to watch tonight is how you have two pitchers. Neither have overpowering fastballs, and yet they have been able to keep each lineup off balance.
That's control. It's changing speeds, keeping the hitters off balance. Both of them have pitched inside. Tomlin's had the ground ball working, and this guy has done a nice job of pitching into the hitters, making them aware. Using both parts of the plate, they've both done a great job, and it's been total contrast from yesterday. You know, from, as you mentioned, we already had 14 or 15 runs in the game by then. You're seeing two different games.
Yeah. Two-strike pitch.
And Leake is, he's had 2 strikes on 13 of the Indians' hitters. And when you get ahead of those hitters, you can afford to go out there and try and get them to hit your pitch. They can't sit on any one pitch. They have both mixed it up nicely.
And the 1-2 up high. bullet foul just by Tom Wiedenbauer, the first base coach.
Well, check out the Indian season ticket guarantee package. It features maximum savings over single game prices on the best seats in the park. For a package that puts you in the middle of all the action right here at Progressive Field, call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com.
Santana steps away before this 2-2 pitch from Leake. Got him looking. That's the fourth strikeout tonight for Mike Leake, the first one that's been a called third strike. Our minor league report brought to you by University Hospitals. Russ Kanzler was named the International League Player of the Week with a .381 batting average. Also, congratulations to Anthony Gallus, who was named the Indians Minor League Player of the Week. Anthony plays for the Carolina Mudcats, the Strongsville native and Kent State product. Hit .478 with a double, 3 homers, and 7 ribbies last week. Michael Brantley looks at ball 2 outside. Brantley twice tonight has grounded out to second base.
Now you watch his approach this time. He doesn't roll over a lot of balls and hit them to second. Normally he stays inside the baseball. I'm looking for this ball to be hit from the shortstop over to the third baseline.
If he gets one to hit, it's 3-0.
He will. Leake will come back. He's only walked 1 in the ball game, and that was back in the third inning. That was Chu. It was a 1-out walk.
He comes at him with a strike.
This is where we'll see him get after it.
And a full count.
Okay, he's going to make him throw 3 in a row.
Right back up the middle. Brandon Phillips goes to the backhand and throws him out 2 down. So Brantley 0 for 3 all 3 times he's grounded out to second.
That surprised me there.
Casey Kochman is 2 for 2 tonight with a pair of singles, and he has driven in the Indians' lone run. Back to the mound. Leake threw his glove up and stabbed it, and the Indians go 1-2-3, and Mike Leake has now retired 8 straight Indians.
You want to make sure you're here on July 3rd. We're going to be celebrating Independence Day one day early when the Indians take on the Angels. The best fireworks show display around will be that evening, set to patriotic themes. And then on July 5th, make sure you're here. We've got Sugardale Dollar Dog Night, dollar hot dogs for everybody. Log on to Indians.com and get your tickets.
All right, 7th inning. Brandon Phillips will lead off for the Reds. 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs. Man, Phillips chased the first pitch down on the dirt. Now that's, again, it's fun to see the adjustments in the game. Hitters have the aggressive approach against Tomlin, and then as he gets along, he starts going breaking ball early in counts.
Well, and you know, the difference between him and Lake is Tomlin's been a little more efficient with his pitches. He's had a couple double play balls. He's had the ground ball working tonight, and he's only at 75 pitches.
Another curveball. Phillips tried to hold up, and he did not go around, says Ron Kulpa at first. Yeah, Leake's over 100 pitches, but I think the Reds' bullpen is still quiet.
Well, yeah, a lot of times a manager will look at trouble situations and trouble he has had to pitch out of, you know, to get that bullpen up, and he hasn't had many stressful innings. Early he had to dodge some bullets. You know, he had some base runners.
1-2 the count on Phillips.
You know, they left.
He's breezed through the last 2 innings.
Yeah, the last 2 he's breezed. The first 4 he left 1 on in the first, second, third, and 2 in the fourth. But Josh has been really good. And here's a guy though. When you're when you get to around that 85 pitch mark with him, you got to be careful. And it's usually that third time through the lineup. But he's been on top of his game. That one was up.
Phillips jumps on a 1-2 pitch and singles to left. And the Reds get their leadoff man aboard for the 3rd straight inning.
See, he bounced one earlier in this at-bat, so he didn't want to bounce. He tried to throw this one for a strike, and you see Phillips was able to stay back on it enough and muscle that ball into the outfield for a knock. So it's 6 hits now and the leadoff man aboard here in the 7th.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy get a hit and then hit himself in the helmet with his bat and then toss the bat aside and run down to first.
Should have watched him play in Cincinnati. He did it 3 times.
I don't remember him doing that. On the hit?
Yes. Every time he got a base hit in Cincinnati, he hit himself on the helmet. I don't know if he was trying to knock some sense into himself, but when you get a base hit, he did it every time I watched him. Maybe you didn't hear me say anything. I don't even know if I said anything about it. I saw it.
The 1-0 to Bruce. Fouled back. In the air to center, Michael Brantley there. 1 away. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Michael Brantley made a nice catch early in the game to take double away from Ryan Ludwig, and then earlier this year a sensational over-the-wall grab to take a home run away from Alex Rios.
See that smile? And he told us about that. That's more, he would rather do that. You dream about that than hitting a 3-run homer. When he did hit that 3-run homer, he says it's more fun taking it back.
Ryan Ludwig singled his last time up to get a measure of revenge. Esmiel Rogers now warming in the Tribe bullpen. That's down low. And a count, 2 balls, no strikes. Quick fire to first, and again, Phillips back with a dive.
It's all right. He's paying attention to him now. 2-0 count. You know, Phillips only has 2 stolen bases this year out of 2 for 2. So he hasn't run a whole lot this year. Ooh, there's.
I think he hit that right off the cup.
He sure did. That was right off the end. A 2-0 count. You see, you come back, and no matter how quiet and you try and stay back, still hit that ball off the end. And he splits it a little bit. So a new piece of lumber for Luddy.
Low and away. 3 balls and a strike here for Ludwig, with 1 on 1 out in the 7th inning in a 1-1 ball game. Foul back and a full count. Scott Rowland 0 for 2, waiting on deck.
This is the first full count for Josh tonight.
With the ground ball double plays that Tomlin has had working tonight, you expect Phillips to be moving here. He takes off, and it's ball 4. So Tomlin issues his first walk of the night, and the Reds have 2 on with 1 out. And Scott Rowland coming up. Scott Radinsky, the Indians pitching coach, going to go out and talk with Tomlin. While they do that, we'll go back to the Hyundai Studios for another in-game update with Al.
Hey, man, some bad news and then good news for Indians fans. First, the bad news. The White Sox score first here against the Chicago Cubs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A ground rule double by Ramirez. But just now, the Cubs have scored 2 to take the lead. It's Cubbies 2, White Sox 1, 3rd inning in Chi-Town. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Well, here, Josh Tomlin in a jam with 2 on and 1 out. And he's got Scott Rowland coming up. Now, Rowland has grounded out twice tonight. Once to second base, once to first base.
And that second time, he started the runner to stay out of that double play, which was Ludwig on the very first pitch back in the 5th. So right now, Tomlin could use another ground ball at one of his infielders.
And he gets ahead of him with a strike. No cut fastball over the outside part of the plate. Breaking ball, and he fouls it off, and it's 0-2. This will be the 90th pitch of the night for Tomlin. way up high. One our score, hits even at 6 apiece. The 1-2 offering. Hit towards Kochman at first. He bobbles it, and now his only play is to Tomlin, who covers for out number 2.
Well, I don't know if he fields it cleanly, if they would be able to turn it. They would have had an opportunity, but that ball must have taken a bigger hop on Casey than we thought. He comes off the bag, and Tomlin was over there. Look at him. He gets a good jump to get to first base. He's a terrific defender out as a pitcher, but that ball, you see that it jumped up on Casey, and he really only had one play. After he couldn't field it cleanly, you make sure you get the out. Now they got runners moving up to second and third, but they got the second out.
And now Todd Frazier looked at a first pitch breaking ball that almost all night has been a strike, but for whatever reason that one is called a ball.
Well, Frazier has seen a steady diet of curveballs from Tomlin tonight. The only pitch that he's going to see for a fastball will be out of the zone. He won't see one for a strike. But this is the guy he wants.
Jose Arredondo warming up now for Cincinnati. The 2-0 to Frazier. A little bit outside, 3 balls, no strikes. The rookie catcher, Devin Mesoraco, on deck. Man, he walked him on 4 straight. Bases loaded, 2 down, and Mesoraco coming to the plate, and Manny Acta is going to make a move. So a roll of the dice here for Manny Acta as he brings in Esmiel Rogers into a bases loaded situation in the 7th, with this game tied at 1. Seventh, Reds have them loaded with 2 outs, and Manny Acta makes a move to the bullpen for Esmiel Rogers. Rogers coming on for just the 4th time as a Cleveland Indian.
Yeah, he's coming into the fire now with the bases loaded. Mesoraco, the scheduled hitter. Tomlin at 95 pitches, gave up 6 hits.
couple of walks in this inning, and I said when he gets around that 85 pitch mark, you got to keep an eye on him. And Manny felt okay. He got himself into it. He wasn't going to let him get out of it. So now it's up to Rogers to try and keep the Reds and keep this a tie ball game.
So Tomlin will have to sit and watch and hope that Rogers can get out of this bases loaded situation. Devin Mesoraco has struck out, grounded out. He is 1 for 4 on the year with the bases loaded. And Darryl Cousins said he went too far on the check swing. Strike one. That one hit for Mesoraco, a grand slam. That time laid off. And it's 1-1. Fastball, and he jumped that one up there at 98 miles an hour. Mesoraco got a piece, but he is down on the count 1-2.
Well, Mesoraco had a good swing, but that's a tough one to catch up to right there.
So this crowd, which has been quiet most of the night because of the way the pitchers have taken the bats out of the game, making some noise here. The 1-2 pitch popped back out of play. Tomlin can't even bear to sit. He's got to stand and watch this. Rogers the wide of the 1-2. Breaking ball and a little bit off the plate. Mesoraco able to lay off. And the count back to even at 2-2. Two pitch. Another fastball, and he fights it off. Nick Hagan on up, but he primarily wouldn't think he'd be coming on until Votto. So hopefully that's next inning.
Yeah, they don't even want to see another hitter. They want to end it right here.
This potentially could be your ball game the way this one's unfolding. 2-2 count. Timeout, timeout, timeout. Mesoraco stepping out a couple of times now. Santana out to talk with Rogers, who's had no trouble reaching back for a little something extra on his fastball, hitting 98 miles an hour. But Mesoraco has been able to foul him off.
Well, that fastball's been down there, and he's thrown it. He could elevate it a little bit above the belt. He's not going to catch up to it.
The 2-2.
That was the slider for a strike that he fouls off his body. His slider's at 91.
Now the 2-2. He elevated the fastball, popped him up, but it's out of play.
Okay, go just a hair higher. He was able to get a piece of it. You're not going to get on top of it, you know, to hit it and put it in play. the best you can do is foul it off right there. And if it's an inch or two higher, he's going to swing and miss. Then if you miss with that and get to 3-2, then you can come back with your slider. But when you're throwing 97, 98, that's hard to catch up to.
Don't get beat with your second best.
That's true. That's hard to get. It's hard to catch up to.
The 2-2 again. Slider got him. Rogers strikes out Mesoraco, and the Reds leave him loaded. Stretch time in Cleveland. And the 7th inning stretch brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. Join the free walking program Let's Move It Mondays at Progressive Field and Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. Visit letsmoveit.org for more information. And we get a look in from our Panini's camera. Get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. Good job by Esmil Rogers.
Yeah, got that big out. Well, this guy back out there, Matt. Now, he's at 106 pitches tonight. He's only thrown in his 12 starts twice.
I'm a little surprised
he
sent him back out there with activity in the bullpen.
With that bullpen that they have as well, leads the National League in ERA. But, you know, as I said, he hasn't been in trouble. He's settled down the last couple innings. It's been a breeze. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. So
Hanahan taking just a little bit inside.
That's a good pitch.
I thought so too.
And you know what? They're waiting. You know, he may be out there until somebody reaches base. We'll see. But this is only the third time now he's been over the 100-pitch count this year.
2 balls and a strike. Now the 2-1. There's a strike over the outside part of the plate. 2-2. Well, so much of managing has been reduced to the stats and the matchups and the computer printouts, but there's still the gut feeling that goes along with managing.
Well, a case in point here, this is the National League and American League Park. You can extend your pitcher because you don't have to pinch hit for him. You know, and you feel he can still get outs. You send him out there and you don't have to use a pinch hitter.
Just as it was for Manny Acta. I mean, that's a gut move to go to a guy who's only pitched in 3 games for you in a bases-loaded situation with 2 outs. And he just had a gut feeling that I like this guy's arm with the high fastball against the young rookie hitter. And it worked out. Duncan tops one to third. Rolling on the move. Throws a strike, 2 down. Every time the Indians homer this year, Rick and I dip into our pockets for $5 each. Great Clips donates $50 per homer to the Gathering Place. So far, we've raised better than $3,300. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. Last night was like home run derby. Tonight, pitchers have done a terrific job on both sides. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 2. Chisenhall almost gave the Indians the lead in the 4th inning. He sent a little soft liner to short, but couldn't get it over the head of Zach Cozart. And how about Leake? He runs that one down himself. And the Indians go 1-2-3, and Leake has retired 11 straight Indians.
Is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Well, we move along now to the 8th inning, and it's still deadlocked at 1. Vinny Pistano coming on now to pitch for the Indians after Rogers got the strikeout to end the 7th. Pistano worked last night, and I mean, he did terrific job coming out of that Indians bullpen.
He had about 30 pitches last night, I believe.
Yeah, inning and a third with 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Aaron Cunningham coming on defensively now in left field. Zach Cozart will lead off top of the order here for the Reds. And a fastball misses up high. Disappointing turnout here this evening. 17,213 the attendance. Indians have averaged better than 18,000 on the year, which is dead last in the American League. But you would have thought beautiful night. Get the big win last night in the series opener. Sean Marshall, left-hander, warming for Cincinnati.
Well, again, it's going to be a battle of the bullpens. Even though it's a different game than last night, that's what it turned into. And it's going to be the same tonight in a 1-1 deadlock. Both teams with 6 hits. Both teams have left 5 stranded.
Full count. Cozart doubled and scored the only run for Cincinnati way back in the 1st inning. Payoff pitch to center field. It's in for a base hit. And the Reds get their leadoff man aboard again. And that is 4 straight innings.
Well, he was 3-0 count. He took 2. He says, I'm going to make you throw 3. And Vinny did throw a very good pitch there, but he hit it off the end of the bat and got it in front of Brantley. So their leadoff man aboard. Let's see how they play it.
If Heisey's not bunting here, I'm really going to be surprised. I mean, you've got Votto and Phillips coming up behind him.
Well, you bunt, you take the bat out of Votto's hand. You know, you bunt him over. First base is open. Votto, you go to first base. We'll take our chances with Phillips.
Yeah.
That's the way I play it, especially with the right-hander Bastano. If he does anything, I think he would hit and run instead of giving up an out here, because you don't let your best hitter hit. He could just start walking to first base now if they sacrifice him.
I just think the way this game has gone, you've had your leadoff man aboard now 4 innings in a row, and you haven't gotten him home yet. You got to try something different. And if they walk Votto, that's fine. You still got 2 cracks with Phillips and Bruce.
That's true.
Here's the 1-1. Popped him up. Foul ground. Kochman near the railing. Leans in. Does he hang on? Yes, he does. What
nice
a play
catch
by Casey Kochman.
Wow. I thought a fan really hit that ball because he had to really lean in. That's a beautiful catch. Great concentration. I thought it hit a fan.
That was a terrific play by Kochman. You talk about the concentration and then the athleticism to go in there and hang on.
Beautiful.
When your feet go out from under you a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's that big first baseman's glove. Look at that. And that guy there, good thing he can't read a ball. Because he was trying to catch it. Thanks for the read, pal. And Kochman went behind him, puts it away, and gets the first out. I mean, Dusty's taking his chance with this guy, him and Phillips, hitting extra base hits as opposed to bunting him over and not getting and losing this bat.
Well, when you've got Votto, who's had 30 doubles, it's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, and 13 homers, so he's got 43 extra base hits.
The 0-1. Hit on the ground towards second base. Kipnis flags it down, turns, fires, got him! Another terrific defensive play turned in by the Indians tonight. Jason Kipnis showing terrific range, going deep in the hole, and from the outfield grass, he had to spin around on a dime and throw a dart to first to get him.
That's what you wanted, get that second out. He realized he had time as well with Votto running, ranging to his left. Make the catch, get it over, out number 2.
Santana going out to talk with Pastano as Brandon Phillips comes up. Go ahead run into scoring position now. And Phillips is 1 for 3 tonight. Cozart, good speed at second base. Fastball at the knees, strike 1, and Phillips does not like the call by Darryl Cousins. And he's letting him know about it. Fastball away, and that was very close. Didn't get the call that time. Just a little bit off the plate.
Good pitch. It was a great pitch, but just off.
The 1-1. Slider. Hit on the ground to third. Hanahan misplays it. And everybody's safe. It had that last tricky in-between hop. And Hanahan committing the error keeps the inning alive now for Cincinnati.
Well, the in-between hop, and Cincinnati's going to get an extra out in the inning. I know it was an in-between hop, but that's a play he usually just eats up. You can see he's upset with himself. So the error will give the Reds another out and bring up a tough left-handed bat in Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce 0 for 3 tonight. Shift on with Kipnis playing in shallow right field. Broken bat, right field, Chu's there, got it. So Vinny Pastano gets out of trouble. The Reds get their leadoff man aboard for the 4th inning in a row, but they can't get him home. One our score as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And for the Indians, top of the order due up. Mike Leake went 7 innings, allowing just 1 run tonight.
Well, the left-hander Sean Marshall coming on to face the top of the lineup. 32nd time he's appeared in a game, 1-3 record.
He's got a tough act to follow because Mike Leake retired the last 11 in a row.
He did appear against the Indians for an inning back down in Cincinnati. But you're right, Mike Leake pitched a whale of a game tonight. Both he and Tomlin was well pitched.
Shin-Soo Choo banks one to first. Off the glove of Votto by Phillips, and Choo is aboard. And he'll hold right there at first base. So a base hit to start the 8th for the Indians.
Attaboy, Choo comes right up and jumps on that first curveball he sees. And that was just started behind him to get me over curveball. And Votto playing on the line to take the double away. Gets his glove on it and knocks it past Phillips into right field. So that'll go as a base hit.
And Asdrubal Cabrera to the plate. 1 for 3 on the night. Now Cabrera, his single came back in the 3rd after Choo had walked with 1 out. Scott rolling in on the grass at third, potentially looking for a bunt. We'll see how Manny Acta decides to play it. Cabrera with a liner to short, and it's caught by Cozart, 1 away.
Nothing you can do about it. Hit it right on the nose. Good swing. Atom ball. That's a hang with him right there. 3 feet left, 3 feet right. And you've got yourself a base knock. Instead, it goes down as an out.
Well, both Dusty Baker and Manny Acta deciding to leave it up to their hitters to hit them to a victory rather than go with a sacrifice, get them into scoring position, and then hope for a hit.
Yeah, I agree with both the managers in that situation. Right there, you can't take the bat out of Cabrera's hand. You're right-handed hitter. I would have let him swing the bat as well.
Jason Kipnis 0 for 3 tonight. And 0 for 7 now in the series.
Throw to first.
Missed outside for ball 1.
Well, you look at the sacrifice situations. The Indians have only 6 on the year. Okay, so you're not going to sacrifice with Santana, one of your better hitters. The Reds now,
Cabrera.
Cabrera, 31. But 19 of those 31 have come by pitchers.
Yep. Well, every game is different too, though. I mean, this has the feel of one of those games where you want to play for 1 run. That 1 run could be huge. The 2-0, I throw to first instead. Now, if you really want to shoot holes through my strategy, look no further than what each team has done with runners in scoring position tonight. The Reds are 1 for 9. The Indians are 1 for 10. So even if you bunt them into scoring position, there's no guarantee you're going to get that hit.
Well, I'm not bunting my best hitters up there. I know that in this situation.
He's 3-0 to Kipnis. With Santana waiting on deck, he may be worrying too much about Chu at first. There he finds the strike zone. Kipnis has hit 11 home runs to lead the Indians. Three-1. Swung on and missed in a full count. Now, Mesoraco's got to go out and talk with Marshall. You know, the interesting thing with Kipnis, with the 11 home runs that leads the team, he also has 3 triples, among the best in the league, but only 6 doubles.
Yeah. I don't know why that is.
No, just odd, an oddity. Marshall delivers the payoff pitch, and he strikes him out. 2 down. Box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to see the 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Chu with a couple of knocks. He's also walked, so he's been on base 3 times, but he hasn't scored, and that's been a rarity. Usually if he gets on base in a game, he tends to come around and score. Carlos Santana 1 for 3. He doubled and scored the Indians' only run back in the 4th. Tigers lead the Cardinals 6-3. They're in the 7th in Detroit. And that's ball 1 to Santana. Cubs lead the White Sox still 2-1. They're in the 5th at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. Santana's double in the 4th inning, but he has also struck out twice tonight. Once in the 1st, once in the 6th. Marshall moves the ball inside and misses 2-0.
Santana from this side of the plate this year hitting just .213. He has walked 14 times. That's in 61 at-bats. Last year he used to rake from this side.
Yeah, he was a much better hitter, though his power was from the left side.
Yeah, but he had a lot of doubles. He used a lot of the field from this side of the plate.
Two-one. That's the other way, but out of play. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chu with a leadoff single, but he's still at first with 2 down in the inning.
Well, I've waited this long. I don't see any reason to send him now, because if you miss on the 3-2 pitch, he's going to take off anyway.
You know, Chu hasn't showed any indication. He hasn't bluffed a move towards second base. He hasn't even taken much of a secondary lead, because Mesoraco's got a clean shot to throw behind him if he wanted to. Out of play again. Two balls, 2 strikes. With a runner at first and 2 down here in the 8th inning, and a 1-1 tie. And a slow ground ball hit to short. Cozart. Off balance throw gets him to end the inning. We'll go to the 9th, tied at 1. It's a 1-1 game now in the ninth inning. After Vinny Pastano worked a scoreless eighth, Chris Perez will come on to work the ninth. Perez, 29th appearance of the year, a 2.73 ERA, 24 Ks in 26 innings.
Had to save in last night's game. He did give up a run.
He'll be facing Ryan Ludwig, Scott Rowland, Todd Frazier.
Yeah, and he struck out Ludwig to end the game yesterday.
Ryan Ludwig tonight robbed of a hit by Michael Brantley in center field his first time up. Base hit between third and short in the fifth, and he walked in the seventh. And Perez with a fastball strike. Aroldis Chapman, the left-handed flamethrower for Cincinnati, up in their 10. Low with the slider, 1-1. Cubs still lead the White Sox 2-1 in the sixth at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. There's another fastball in there. 1-2.
Ooh.
Just a defensive swing. I'm not sure he meant to swing at that.
No, that ball took off on Perez, and he started, and that ball just ran up and ate him up. He did not try and swing. He thought that might have been a slider, and that thing just took off on him.
And the 1-2, oh boy. Looked like a slider was going to get him rung up, but Darryl Cousins says it's just a little bit off the plate. That slider jammed him. And Kochman has an easy play, one away. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Casey Kochman with a defensive play. Terrific job there. And then Jason Kipnis going into the hole. As the Indians and Vinny Pastano get out of a jam in the eighth inning. Scott Rowland 0 for 3 tonight. Looks at a slider for strike one. That fastball in the dirt. Down with the heater. 2-1. Popped up foul. That's going to go out of play. And we'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With one out here in the top of the ninth. He's outside with it and a full count. Check swing defensive again. Second time in this inning we've seen a hitter do that. And this time Rowland broke his bat.
That's a lot like the same pitch that Ludwig saw in his at bat. Look at the fastball come running up and in. This one gave Roland just a little more swinging room. He wanted to check it. Arredondo now joins Chapman. Both ready, waiting for the outcome of this inning.
Long fly ball, deep right field. Chu back. He has room. Makes the catch. 2 down. That's going to bring up Todd Frazier with 2 down in the ninth. He is 0 for 2 on the night with a walk. After the ball game, we'll have the Conrad's post-game show. Go over the highlights, and we'll look ahead to the series finale as we wrap up the Ohio Cup battle. Frazier fouls it back. A lot of sliders tonight from Chris Perez.
Yeah, this guy's a fastball hitter, so you're going to throw him one, and he's had a good slider recently, so he's got a feel for it. So when he's throwing his slider for strikes, he's awfully tough.
Another one just missed.
Yeah, and when he's missing, he's not missing by much. I mean, he's been locked in with his slider. That's why he has been so good.
But that's where you want to miss with it. You don't want to miss.
Yeah, right. Down and away.
That fastball right at the belt, and that had good movement on it, too. And he's got Frazier down on the count of ball and 2 strikes. Now the 1-2. Out of play. Fastball away. Evens the count. Carlos Santana checking with Darryl Cousins on the count. He's had a good slider. Throw it again. And he struck him out with it. Chris Perez, a 1-2-3 ninth inning. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Tied at 1. And even though Dusty Baker had double barrel action in his bullpen, he'll stay with the left-hander Sean Marshall because you've got all left-handed hitters coming up here for the Indians. Michael Brantley, Casey Kochman, and Jack Hanahan. Marshall worked a scoreless 8th inning despite allowing a leadoff single to Shin-Soo Choo. Dusty Baker looking over that Indians lineup card, also looking at who's on the bench for potential pinch hitters. But Indians bench When you look at it, you got Jose Lopez from the right side and Lou Marson. And a breaking ball misses for ball one.
Well, let's see if they can get a little magic here in the bottom of the ninth. They could use a nice little comeback walk-off win.
Brantley with a line drive single into right field. And the Tribe once again gets their leadoff man aboard, second inning in a row. And now Casey Kochman, 2 for 3 on the night with a couple of singles and a run batted in.
It's going to be Lopez who's coming out of the dugout, going to hit for Kochman. And see if Dusty forces his hand to get the right-hander in there and take Marshall out. But a nice swing by Michael Brantley to get this ninth inning started off on the right foot. So now Lopez will hit for Kochman. And
Lopez, a long look down with third base coach Steve Smith before he steps in. Dusty Baker had both Jose Arredondo and his closer Aroldis Chapman up in the bullpen. Chapman, of course, the lefty. But he chooses to stay with Marshall with the left-handed hitting Jack Hanahan due up next. And it's outside ball one. Marshall with a 1-0. Runner goes and Lopez chops it to short. They'll get the out at first, so in a sense, he gets that runner into scoring position like a sacrifice.
Well, Manny started Brantley. You know, he wasn't going to let him sit back and hit into the double play, so you start your runner. And that's, you know, instead of bunting, you're hoping he gets a better pitch to handle. And he really had to dig that out. Lopez had to dig it out. It wasn't a good pitch for him to handle, but he did a good job of just putting it in play and at least getting Brantley to second base. So now it's up to the left-handers.
Jack Hanahan with Aaron Cunningham waiting on deck. Hanahan looks at a ball outside. Jack 1 for 3 tonight. He singled back in the fourth. Marshall delivers. And Hanahan shoots it out of play, foul, 1-1 to count. Brantley has good speed, good base runner.
Yeah, he's coming no matter what. If there's a ball that hits the outfield grass, you can bet Smitty's going to send him around. That will be automatic.
Hanahan chased one up, and it's 1-2.
Well, that's his show pitch. He's going to get inside. His high fastball. I think he really wants to try and get him out, down and away with his breaking ball. So that's one that, you know, he gets a Hanahan to swing at a ball out of the strike zone. Fastball up at the letters. The teaser, you call that. He shows him his fastball. And Marshall will throw that breaking ball at any time in any count.
Out of play.
Well, Mesoraco wants to come out. That was right there. He came back with a fastball, and that was a better one for Hanahan to handle, but he fouled it off.
Jack Hanahan trying to deliver here in the ninth and send the Indians home a winner. Marshall with a 1-2. Just foul, third base side.
Well, he's battling up there. He fights that ball off. Foul ball.
Brantley the winning run at second base. And the 1-2. Up high with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jack steps away before the 2-2 pitch is made. Outfield shifted around toward left, playing him as though he were a right-handed pull hitter. And he got him to chase.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. It didn't come as soon as I thought it was going to.
And so 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th.
After he threw a couple of high fastballs, he finally comes back with that breaking ball out of the zone, and Jack couldn't hold up. Had his body out in front, and you can see he did swing at it. So now it'll be a chance for Cunningham.
Brian Price going out for a chat with 2 outs and Michael Brantley at second base.
Well, they want to talk about this situation with Cunningham, the right-hander. You've got Chisenhall, your DH, on deck. Who do they have? We got Marson on the bench, and let me see, Johnny Damon. And
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Damon's not available. He's just standing down there on the railing.
Well, that's fine, and he is not available. So
neither team has come up with a hit with 2 outs tonight. Aaron Cunningham. This will be just his 67th at bat on the year, playing in his 50th game. But most of the games he's played in has been as a defensive replacement late. Inside ball 1. Now the 1-0. Missed in again. 2 balls, no strikes. Cunningham trying to deliver here for the Indians and end this game in the bottom of the 9th. Takes a called strike.
It's all right, not one he wanted. That comes back with a pretty good pitch by Marshall on that breaking ball down and in. Probably would have rolled over the top of it and hit a little ground ball. Not something you look for 2-0.
Well, you really appreciate the pace with which both Leake and Tomlin worked in this game because the relievers have come in and really slowed it down.
They usually do.
Chased one up high, 2-2. And Brantley was halfway to third before he turned and scampered back. He's getting a huge secondary lead. Watch him. Yeah, he put the brakes on in a hurry. Nobody was at the bag covering, but he's trying to make sure that if Cunningham puts it in play, he gets a big lead and can score on a base hit. I think Marshall was getting paid by the minute. The 2-2. Fouled right back.
Well, another elevated fastball that was out of the strike zone, but he got a piece to stay alive.
Joe Smith will be coming on for the Indians if we go to extra innings. Marshall has made 30 pitches for Cincinnati. He's one strike away from getting out of it. And he almost threw one to the backstop there, 3-2. Lonnie Chisenhall waits on deck. He would be next.
Well, he started him off with that breaking ball down and in. I want to see if he tries to go back there on a full count. Not going to throw him a fastball, or he tried to elevate it there, so maybe change your eye level and come back with that breaking ball down and in on the full count. And if you walk him, then you got the left-hander Chisenhall.
Here's the payoff.
See ya.
Got him looking. Extra innings tonight, tied at 1. Extra innings baseball presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's, feed your wild side. One as we go to the 10th. Joe Smith coming on now for the Indians. 5th pitcher to work tonight for the Tribe. And defensively now for the Indians, Jose Lopez is now at first base after he came on to pinch hit for Casey Kochman in the 9th. Get a pinch hitter for Devin Mesoraco as Willie Harris will bat here to start the 10th for Cincinnati. Willie Harris, not much to write home about. He's got 4 hits and 40 at bats, but he has 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter. Drives one to deep center. Brantley, it's over his head. One hops the wall. Harris into second. He'll hold there with a double. Just his 5th hit of the year in 41 at bats now. But it's his 4th double. How do you like that? He's got 5 hits and 4 of them are doubles.
Yeah, and he was 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter. Now 3 for 14. And I mean, he smokes his ball. See what it is? Fastball from Joe Smith. Up and out over the plate at 90, and he hits it over the head of Michael Brantley. So Cincinnati with a good start to this inning.
Now Zach Cozart, Indians looking for the bunt. They pinch in at the corners. He squares. He bunts. Third base side. It's a beauty.
Let it go. Let it go.
And it will go foul. Whew. More than halfway up the line it took before that ball finally trickled onto the dirt.
Yeah, you had no play anywhere. That was really a nice bunt. And that thing, it tilted that way. Watch, it gets grass, but it doesn't stay on the grass. That field tilted into the foul territory. Look at it, hit that and really rolled foul. The only chance they had was to let it go, and it did.
He squares again. It's outside, 1-1. Hanahan at the bag at third, just in case he bunts it right back to the pitcher. Or bunts it hard to first. Smith off the mound. He'll take a shot at third. Got him! Oh, baby! Hanahan with a terrific tag because Harris was right on top of him. But I wonder if the way Harris slid, he might not have been able to get his front foot to the bag, and it looked like Hanahan tagged him on the back leg.
He didn't go straight in. Watch, he goes with a bent leg. Smitty, an excellent fielding pitcher, comes over. Watch his slide. He's got that hook slide. His front foot never even gets there. That's a terrible slide. You got to go straight into the base, but that was a nice play by Joe Smith. He picked himself up there after giving up the double. Went and made a very good athletic play, gave Hanahan a feed, and they get the lead runner. So a big play for the Tribe.
Chris Heisey showing bunt, takes it for ball 1. Heisey drove in the Reds' only run in the first inning with a single. Takes a strike to even the count. Now the 1-1. It's low, 2 balls and a strike. Heisey ready for the 2-1 offering. Breaks his bat, bounces it to third. Bat goes between Hanahan's legs, and he still had the presence of mind to stay with it and fired a strike to second to force out Cozart. 2 down.
That's about as close as you're going to get. That barrel head of the bat came right with the baseball, and it actually ended up going between his legs. Scary situation, but he concentrated. Watch this. Here it comes before the ball. Look at that thing go right between his legs and
hit him. That bat, the sharp edge of that bat, Rick, clipped him pretty good on the shin.
Watch that is total concentration.
Watch the sharp end. Whack. Wow. Well, that's going to be it for Joe Smith. Manny Acton's going to make a move to the bullpen. 2 down here in the 10th. Still tied at 1. All right, so back here, it's still a 1-1 game, but we've had some excitement here in this 10th inning. A couple of terrific defensive plays. Nick Hagedorn coming on now to face Joey Votto. They'll go lefty-lefty matchup here with 2 down. And the go-ahead run for Cincinnati at first base. Watch this play one more time and watch the jagged edge of the bat hit Jack Hanahan on his right shin.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, he acted like that thing was not even coming at him. And Kipnis wisely just held on to the ball. You weren't going to get anybody at first base. I mean, you see that a lot where the barrel out of the bat will go at pitchers, you know, on plays like that. I've never seen it go between a guy's legs while he was fielding a ground ball.
While he's fielding a ball,
yeah,
exactly.
I think that's a first.
Man. So a runner at first, 2 down. And Joey Votto 1 for 4 on the night with a double. Down in the dirt. Ball 1. There's a strike called to even the count. Painted the outside corner with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to jump ahead now 1-2. Double barrel action in that Reds bullpen. But right now, all eyes fixed on Nick Hagedorn. The 1-2 to Votto. Oh, up and into the backstop it goes. Down to second base with the go-ahead run is Chris Heisey on a wild pitch that really took off on Hagedorn.
Yeah. If you remember, Votto got a base hit on Hagedorn on a breaking ball in Cincinnati. When he was down on the count 0-2, he worked it back in. And I'll tell you what, that'll knock you off your feet.
I'm not sure if that ball didn't hit Darryl Cousins. Might have ticked him on the way by. He's trying to work his right arm, trying to get some feeling back in it. Might have clipped him. The 2-2. There's that breaking ball, but he missed. And a full count. And the payoff pitch. Tapper over Hagedorn. Kipnis can't get it. Cabrera does. Throws not in time. Votto beats it out. And the Reds are still alive here in the 10th inning with runners at first and third on a seeing eye single that got by 2 guys. And by the time Cabrera got it, he didn't have enough time to throw him out.
Well, you're right. A slow developing play, but it was all, over the head of Hagedorn. So once it gets over his head, Kipnis tries. He can't get it. Cabrera backs him up. And as he's going away, he just didn't have enough to get on that throw. Made it awfully close. Votto beats it out. You can see he truly does get there before the ball. Infield single, first and third now with 2 outs. And now you got to face Brandon Phillips.
Brandon Phillips, 1 for 4 on the night. Fouls it back. Phillips singled in the 7th, reached on an error his last time up. Hagedorn with the 0-1. And a swing and a miss. Gets away from Santana. Here comes the run from third. Flip to home. Not in time. Heisey scores the go-ahead run. And Cincinnati takes a 2-1 lead here in the 10th.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You talk about hustle. He got a good read, and he just took off on this pitch. Let's see what happens to Santana. He goes down to block it. It scoots out. It takes off. He gets it. The flip in, and he beats it. There's the hand. He gets down there. Hagedorn wants the call. It is close at home plate, but he just does get. He gets in. He beats it. It's now a 2-1 ball game.
2 wild pitches in the inning. And the Reds turn it into a run.
Well, that means Chapman on now in the bottom half of the 10th. A wild pitch. The hitters haven't been able to score or hit tonight, and it comes on a wild pitch. It just trickles away from Santana behind the plate.
Breaking ball popped up, foul ground. Lopez won't get it. And it's still 0-2. Well, Maniacta went to Nick Hagedorn to face the left-handed hitting Joey Votto. Votto had a little tapper single right up the middle. And then Brandon Phillips at the plate. The wild pitch gets the go-ahead run home for the Reds. Aroldis Chapman, the left-handed closer for Cincinnati, heating up. And this guy can bring it 100 miles an hour plus. The 0-2 up high, almost to the backstop again. And they can't get on the same page, so Santana will go out. Let's see what Hagedorn wants to throw to Phillips. 0-2, or 1-2 rather. Well, Joey Votto was at the plate, had him down on the count, and he buzzed him up and in with a fastball that went all the way to the backstop. And that sent Chris Heisey to second base. And then on the little tapper that Votto hit, Heisey went to third and then came home on the second wild pitch of the inning. Breaking ball in the dirt and a good stop by Santana there. And it's now 2-2. Mike Leake, the Cincinnati starter, went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, retired the last 11 in a row that he faced. Josh Tomlin went 6 2/3 for the Indians. He gave up 1 run on 6 hits. Phillips fouls it off. He left with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 7th inning. Esmail Rogers came on and got the strikeout to get out of that jam. And now Cincinnati ahead here in the 10th and a full count for Phillips. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat for Phillips. Hit in the air to right field. Chu is there. He makes the catch. And we'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Tribe down a run now, 2-1. And for the Tribe, it will be Lonnie Chisenhall, Shin-Soo Choo, and Asdrubal Cabrera to face a left-handed closer, Aroldis Chapman, 8 out of 10. He has struck out 59 in 34 innings of work. He can get a little wild at times.
That's one thing he's done very well this year, though, is look at that, 11 walks compared to his 59 strikeouts. He's been able to keep it in the strike zone. And it seems like he has taken a little off. I know you say when the guy's throwing 100, you know, how do you take a little bit off? But believe me, he has to keep the ball in the strike zone. Hannigan comes into the game to go behind the plate now and catch him. So the Indians' last chance here.
Yeah, the Indians had their leadoff man in the 8th inning and in the 9th inning. But they couldn't do anything with it. And so now Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 3 on the night will lead off in the bottom of the 10th.
Been hard to come by runs. Maybe a bloop and a blast will take care of it.
Fastball hit high in the air to right field. Bruce is under it. 1 down. Series finale tomorrow night, right here on Sports Time Ohio. 7 o'clock start time as Justin Masterson goes up against Bronson Arroyo. And Shin-Soo Choo, who has 2 hits on the night. He has also walked. That's down low. 2 balls, no strikes. It's up high, 3-0. The 3-0 pitch, that caught the corner. Chu with a broken bat base hit into center field. Bruce over into the gap to cut it off. Chu with a wide turn, but he'll hold with a 1-out single. So the tying run aboard for the Indians here in the bottom of the 10th.
There you go. He got the count in his favor. He knew what he was going to get. It was just a matter of searching and finding a strike. And he was challenged by Chapman, and he gets the base hit. So the tying run aboard now for the Tribe.
The batter will be Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera tonight singled back in the third inning. 1 out of 4. 1 for 7 in the series. Chapman with a throw to first. Chu back safely. That's one benefit when you've got a left-handed closer. Slows down the running game of trying to steal when you need to get in the scoring position.
He can. You look at his move, but we haven't had enough because he hasn't had a lot of base runners. But something to look at to see if you can steal on him once he delivers the ball to the plate. I know one thing: he gets it there in a hurry. He's going to give the catcher a chance.
That's for certain.
If he doesn't have that high leg kick. So let's take a look.
Up and away. Ryan Hannigan just into the game behind the plate. Chapman, 4 out of his 7 pitches have missed the strike zones thus far. And he's wide again, 2-0.
This is what happened to Chu when he was up there falling behind the hitter. So now you close up that strike zone. And you look for that one pitch you can hit. That one ball down the middle. Put a short swing on it because he will definitely supply all the power.
Another toss to first, but again, Chu just a couple of steps off the bag. Right back to the screen. He had a terrific cut.
Boy, that's a good swing, man. He tried to end it. He's looking at where that ball hit, and he's saying, let's go.
Smelled some burnt wood.
Well, you see it 2-0, and it gives him some swinging room. A little out over the plate, but it's awfully tough to center on a pitch that's coming up there in the high 90s. But it was a good swing.
Now Chapman ready with a 2-1 and a throw to first instead. Outfield for the Reds, straight away and fairly deep. Low, 3-1. Jason Kipnis waits on deck.
And I look at their outfield. It's not as deep as I would see, as you see a lot of other teams.
Yeah, it's not that no doubles defense.
No, it's their normal depth, really.
Another throw to first, but
well, he's not going anywhere. He's going to give this guy at the plate a chance to swing the bat and try and search a fastball that he likes.
Chapman ready with a 3-1. Time is called, and he threw it to the backstop.
Well, he held it for quite some time. And you see what Hannigan's saying, hey, don't worry about him. You come to me. Don't worry about it.
You know, he held that ball and held it, thinking that he was going to go somewhere at first base. His main concern's the hitter. I mean, he's got the kind of stuff, he can blow you away. You don't worry about that guy. He fell behind Chu. That's why Chu's on first base. He had to come in with a fastball. He's in the same boat here to Cabrera.
3-1. Hit in the air to right field. Back is Bruce. Still going back. He's out of room. It's out of here. The Indians win it with a walk-off home run from Asdrubal Cabrera. And now they'll beat him up at the dish.
How about that? I mean, two hitters had the count in their favor. They both did their job. What a pretty swing by Cabrera. Shortened it up. His 5th career walk-off hit, and that went the distance. Wow. Told you, bloop and a blast. That'll do it.
The heck with that sacrifice.
That's right. Forget about it. Get the first guy out, so you got to go bloop and a blast, and Cabrera did it.
3-2 final score. Indians a big winner tonight on the Asdrubal Cabrera walk-off homer. And, well, here's our play of the game brought to you by KeyBank.
I was waiting what took so long to see it. Again, a 3-1 fastball. And you're going to see Cabrera stay on it. Oh, down. A little bit more. He knew he got a good piece of it. And it won. Yes, indeed. Made it into the seats. A game-ending walk-off home run. What a thrilling moment for Cabrera.
Play of the game brought to you by KeyBank, the home of relationship rewards. Earn reward points, redeem for gifts. And now let's go down to the field where Katie Witham has tonight's star of the game.
Well, Asdrubal, a walk-off home run, 2-run home run for you. 3-1 was the count. You were very patient up there. It looked like you got a hold of the fastball.